Well, I feel like I could only disappoint if I speak, so maybe I should just say thank you and let's call it a night. So look, I've never been more humbled or honored. I mean that, and I want to thank everyone we heard from tonight and the hundreds of thousands that you're representing. My other fellow colleagues here this evening, the ambassador and SEMA, your stories are inspiring. And, you know, I thought, well, I shouldn't say I thought a lot. I would be lying to you because somehow seconds of the day take up and you say you're going to allot yourself some time to really just think. And for those that are doers out there, and I feel like I'm in a room amongst a lot of doers, your day gets lost. Someone told me days are long and years are short, and I have never felt more experience about days being long and years being short. And I seem like you started at Mylan at about 10. And 25 years later, we're still young. I did think a lot about this evening, and I've got to be honest with you, before I was approached to be honored here at HOBY, I had never heard of HOBY. And I got to tell you, I'm a little bitter that I never learned of HOBY. God knows what I could have accomplished had I known of HOBY. I felt very deprived. And my daughter looked at me, who's with me this evening, and said, I'm bitter myself. And I said, well, there's something you and I are both going to do is make sure Fairmont Senior High School, which is where I graduated from, and Quaker Valley High School, where she graduated from, is definitely going to hear about HOBY, and we're going to make sure that the next generation has that opportunity. As I sit back and reflect, my story is pretty simple, and I can tell you I feel humbled because I've never been the smartest person in a room, and that's never been more poignant than here this evening, because all ages, all walks of life, the diversity and the experience in this room is a humbling experience to listen to. I grew up in a small town in West Virginia, but I was part of a big Italian political family. So you may take from that we had passionate discussions. I learned what the word passion meant at a young age, and there was usually perhaps a fist or two thrown, some at those passionate dinners that we had. I learned compassion at a young age. I saw the women in my family who fed for love. Feeding was an act of love, and you better eat, and eat a lot, or they were very disappointed. I saw the men in my family strong, pillars of the community, giving back through public service. I saw my great-grandmother make bread every Saturday, and we delivered it to whatever houses she told us to, and she looked at me and said, you know, Heather, nobody will care how much you know until they know how much you care. And that's probably something that has stayed with me through all these years, because truly caring, and I heard that a lot tonight, it came through loud and clear, that it all starts right there. If you don't care, you definitely can't make a difference. If you don't care, you're definitely not going to be different. If you don't care, if you don't take the time to care, because it's harder to care. You know, I see this evening in this great organization, writing a check is easy. And for many people, that's all it is writing a check. I think you can see where I learned through my professional career, and one of my greatest mentors, Robert, that you don't just write a check. You need to care about what you're giving to. You need to care about how you're giving it. And that's what makes the difference. So for all of you this evening, and I see the generous contributions being given, it is about caring and taking the time to understand and getting involved and engaged. And as I grew up in this family with a lot of passion and a lot of compassion, I also saw what was delegated as boy jobs and girl jobs. And I don't know if any of you grew up in an ethnic family, but those jobs are very delineated. There are definite boy jobs and there's definitely girl jobs. We had a lot of small businesses in the family. And what my parents especially enabled me to do was to, one, be very curious, which meant I asked a lot of questions, and I didn't understand this girl job, boy job stuff. And I said, I want the best of both worlds. I want to make a difference externally, and I want to make a difference internally. And today I couldn't be more proud to represent 35,000 employees around this globe that wake up every day living a life to make a difference. And I look forward to every weekend I can be at home to feed as many people as I possibly can, to share that love. And that's how I know to give back, pay forward, and inspire and show that you can be proud to be both. You can be proud to raise your family and make that important. We've got 4 children. I've got an extremely extended family. I've got my Mylan family, many of whom are with me tonight, and I can't thank you enough. I've been at Mylan longer than I've not been at Mylan. I don't know anything else. I know I got the opportunity to start as a data entry clerk 25 plus years ago, and I was afforded many opportunities that I want to believe, again, it was working hard. As I said, it's not about being the smartest person in the room. It's about really caring, being curious, and wanting to make a difference. And all I can tell you is that as a youth, what I was, while I was deprived from HOBY, I was given the values that said to me, Heather, think differently. Being curious, just asking questions, it's what do you do with that? And it's challenging that status quo. And I found that I didn't realize kind of how disruptive that was to decide that there shouldn't just be boy jobs and girl jobs. There could just be a job for the most competent person to do the job. And I look back and that was fairly disruptive. I was fortunate to find myself in a company that was fairly disruptive. What I love about Mylan is we enable, we empower everyone to be unconventional, to challenge that status quo. It's not for everybody. It's not for the faint of heart. You realize that if you are going to be different, that's not always real popular. You learn that young, high school, grade school. If you look different, you act different, you think different, you can somehow be a standout, and that's not always comfortable. So fortunately, I got comfortable being uncomfortable at a very young age, and I learned that that feeling of uncomfortable was probably the best gift I was ever given, because all I can ask of anyone is continue to push yourself. When you get comfortable, do something else. When you get comfortable, learn something else. We're living with this generation that truly has the world at their fingertips. I didn't grow up with the internet. I didn't grow up with a smartphone. I didn't grow up connected to the world. I only knew what I saw. And I'm fortunate because I saw a lot. I saw a lot of strong personalities. I saw a lot of people trying to make a difference. I look at our generation today and say, you've got the world at your fingertips. Find what you're passionate about and take responsibility and own figuring it out. Get curious about it. Being that relentless, committed person, see it through. Don't, data, we've all got more data than we know what to do with right now. You've got to be focused and go after what you want to do. And when I talk to whether it's my children, my family, all of my colleagues, that ownership of yourself is what makes you grow personally and what allows whatever you're part of, whatever organization, your family, your company grows professionally when you grow personally. And I saw all these wonderful children up here today taking ownership, directing their focus in life, deciding that they wanted to make a difference, and it was okay to be different. It's okay to be uncomfortable. Those are simple traits, but yet complicated ones. And I think HOBY has done a fantastic job of putting those arms. I look at that Y. I kept looking at the HOBY, the symbols, and saw that Y with those open arms. That's what we're about. We're about putting our arms around each other, lifting each other up. It's okay to be different. It's okay sometimes to be unpopular. It's okay sometimes to take that path less traveled. It can be bumpy and hard, and you've got to take that. That's part of it. You lead in tough and good times. But I will tell you something. The reward at the end of giving access. I've been part of this company that our mission has been pretty simple. We wanted to provide access to 7 billion people. But it's pretty ambitious. And you've got to be willing to work really hard to make that happen. I saw that access, and I've tried to live it every day, whether it's providing 7 billion people with medicine, whether it's giving employees opportunity, whether it's giving children out there a reason to think differently and know that there's going to be arms out there supporting them. So I can't thank HOBY enough for what you do. I can't thank everyone in this room for contributing, giving back, being here this evening, to follow all the speakers and all the videos that I had to follow this evening. Again, humbling. But if I can just inspire one person out there to think differently, ask a question, and not just ask the question, do something with it. Do where it takes you, complete it. And like I said, I couldn't be more proud. This was a room of doers. And sometimes as doers, we forget to stop and think a minute about what we're doing. And perhaps if we stopped and thought about what we're doing, we wouldn't be able to keep doing what we're doing. So I'm proud. I'm honored to be with all of you. I'm looking forward to continuing to inspire the next generation of doers because they have a big job on their hand. There's a lot of complicated issues in this world we face today, and we need everybody. We need all the girl jobs and all the boy jobs to come together. We need the whole population. We need every smart mind out there. We need everybody who's willing to be different, to make a difference, to stand up and take action. So for all of you, thank you. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I'm humbled. I'm humbled to represent our 35,000 employees. I'm humbled to represent my Italian political family back in my small town in West Virginia. And I feel empowered and blessed to hopefully represent and give a arm up to every young youth out there to be bold, be different, and make this world a better place. Thank you.